The topic which I'm going to share today is developing thinking hands for the future of work through humanizing technology. Digital transformation is the latest agenda for many multinational companies and even small medium enterprises. To be complete, people, process, and technology must be integrated and aligned to the company's vision as well as business model. Extended reality is one of the key Industrial 4.0 technology that harmonizes across the three different entities. It trains and helps people in their new work processes when some of their existing tasks or roles are disrupted by the introduction of new technologies. Industrial 4.0 digital transformation sees disruptive trends which will be embraced as a new normal. OECD says that polarization is happening in the work and equality of opportunity becomes a big concern when jobs get disrupted. This is due to work tasks that will be able to be performed more efficiently by application of technology. This requires lifelong learning as fourth industrial revolution is still happening wave after wave. This is also echoed by World Economic Forum, which says that the immediate requirement is for the organization to narrow down skill gap in order for the workers to operate and use a new technology. The International Monetary Fund forecasted 85 million jobs will be automated. Robotics revolution will create 97 million new jobs, which will require reskilling as remote work will become the new norm. Let me summarize. There are three polarizing risks in the future of work. The first of all is the fourth industrial revolution is not one-off kind of development. It has successive waves of innovation and disruption. Workers who cannot adopt to new technologies or each wave fast enough will risk falling behind. The second risk is that when economy restructure or each wave change, workers will need to be able to quickly pinpoint where they can transition in their career. This transition can be within the occupation, within the industry, or outside of it. Workers who cannot find clear path for this transition will risk falling behind. The third risk is when technology replaces tasks within jobs. Workers must increase the value of what they do in the remaining tasks. They must also learn the new technologies needed for the task, and workers who fail in this will fall behind their salary and wages. Now I'll share the way forward is to develop people with thinking hands using humanizing technology. Think of this as GPS and map. We need GPS to help us to navigate and find where to go in order to reach a final destination as in the map. A career is defined in the HR system is when a person is given a specific title, job description, key performance area. A person's job can be divided into several roles. In this presentation slide, you see there are two roles that is being divided here. Each role will have several associated tasks with it. For example, trainer or teacher task is in observing and identifying students and how to help them. Another role task is actually making presentation in the classroom, making lessons plan. Another task will be grading students. As you see, a trainer's role has got many tasks. For example, in the second role, for example, developing training material, he has to know the task of articulating effective storyline, how to develop material, how to develop a material that is suitable for the occasion, to perform quality assurance to the material. and keeping track with the latest developmental technology. So you can see that there are several tasks associated with each role. Now, what exists in between the task and the role is something they call skills. Skill is something always undercover. It is an invisible enabler that comes between the role and the task. This is because people usually know what the role is, and people also know what are the tasks to be accomplished in that role, but it could not immediately able to pinpoint what is the skill that is required. Therefore, we come to the main content that career are like location map as the one that you use for driving. And the task pathway provides the GPS to those maps. Workers can make better transition in their career if they understand the tasks required for them to transition to in the next job. Let's understand this in a little bit of detail. In the learning design management of an extended learning, first start with the task specific to the current job. For example, the field engineer, it's shown in the first column. In column 2, actually, it shows all the tasks that is specific to the current job. Due to digitization initiative, implementation of robotics for surveillance in the field can directly disrupt some of the current tasks. If the career map options are clear for the field engineer, such as transitioning to become a control room operator, control room engineer, or process engineer, or safety engineer. Right. In this case, it is about reskilling a field technician to become a control room operator. The task to be trained forms the pedagogical design of immersive learning. You look at that, the task pathway forms a GPS to the career map, but the individual task actually forms the design of immersive learning. The repeated self-motivated engagement in that learning of the task and executing the task will develop the thinking hands. This is because they precisely know the final location of their career transition, which is becoming a control room operator. This is the thinking hands development process. Let's hear what some of the voices of some of our customers pertaining to thinking hands approach. The energy factor publication by ExxonMobil. This publication says that this publication is actually we are actually the immersive learning solution architect for this project. This publication says that the technology has changed the way that people understand and learn from the training, transforming learning from a very passive way to a very active experience. The humanizing technology forms the basis of the active experience. This article shows how the targeted skill training can be learned in an active experience using humanizing technology, unlike the passive training in the past, which focuses on mechanizing human. Let's look at a few aspects of humanizing technology. Industry 4.0 is a gateway where humanizing technologies are being introduced. I want to give a few backdrop to this subject. You can see that humanizing technology used in the design of extended or immersive learning is still evolving each day. What are the humanizing aspects of the technology? You can see in the presentation, those cells colored in red, such as gamification, collaboration, so on and so forth. All right. For example, the humanizing aspect of this technology in gamification. Gamification is fun and fully engages the learner. This also increases the depth of retention. In the flow of work, every company's work, there is a work process. In the flow of work, team collaboration is essential. And now multiplayer concept can support this. Performance support in live experience where remote guidance of the subject matter expert is also fast becoming a norm. Latest, what have you got? Stress tracking. emotion feedback, heartbeat feedback, as well as all the humanizing UI and UX, human interfaces, human user experience elements actually forms the backbone of such humanizing technology. This, this is important because it's not about people interfacing machine in one direction, that's all. It is about humanizing aspect of how elements of this machine fit back to the human and support the concept of human collaboration and communication. The second component of thinking hands in humanizing technology can be examined from the win results facilitation. In any digital transformation initiative, ROI is important. Companies get the result, which is the ROI, but only people win. ROI is something that you define at the start of a project. It is something tangible, it's something measurable, and it's something quantifiable. Winning is personal, intangible, not measurable, and not quantifiable. Let's explain on the win outcome. We say that a person is winning when he or she feels good and positive about an outcome. The individual feels that it makes sense and right for them to be part of this initiative. Then we say the person is winning. This is the definition of win in this context. Let's give one example to clarify this more. For example, if a company is looking at the corporate result or ROI of reducing overtime by 30%, the win of each individual involved in the team may be different. For example, the department manager feels that she will experience a win when the management find her more efficient. Therefore, her win is being viewed as being more efficient, and the win result is reducing overtime by 30%. Another member in the team with a technical background may experience a win of being viewed as potentially recognized as a guru of this new technology. And yet another member who may be from a HR department, she may want her win will be that she wants herself to be recognized as a change agent for digital transformation initiative. Therefore, winning is the sustainable driving force and the core motivation for people to achieve thinking hands. If you know how people win, the onboarding process will achieve better buy-in and better sustainability. Let's look at how this thinking hands and humanizing technology is embedded in design. For example, in this case, before engaging a certain task, workers must be trained on the last line of defense in safety. This is the importance of selecting the right personal protective equipment for the right job.
The following PPE: helmet, leather gloves, safety shoes, safety goggles, flame retardant coverall, earplugs, earmuffs.
Next, after the selection of PPE, once a worker is put on the immersive learning headset as seen in the slide on the top left-hand corner, he's been teleported to a virtual environment resembling the actual work site. Environmental familiarization allows the workers to have a holistic view of the location zone in which he executes the daily tasks. And he knows which are the zones that requires permit to work and additional safety induction. When it comes to shutdown maintenance, familiarization of layout, location of equipment may help to reduce the downtime, and this have impact on the overall profitability or loss in terms of operation. After understanding the location zone of his work, he needs to understand the equipment which he's going to use each day. In the understanding of asset reliability, visualization and knowing how equipment work is very important. Visualization of internal mechanism of equipment gives a deep understanding of the operational design behind it. It becomes important when we are doing maintenance. The equipment which a worker uses every day is like his baby. The more he knows on the behavior and mechanism, he has better idea of possible root cause in the event of machinery breakdown. Equipment reliability and planned predictive maintenance reduces downtime and reduces operational loss. Next, the pop-up messages for team collaboration helps team workers to understand his task, his role, his task in the flow of work. Workers develop deep understanding of why some task needs to be done before the next step. The process is about developing high-performing team. Team coaching, as well as the ability to identify where are the key blockages, where are the possible blind spots in team collaboration. Only effective team achieve better team results, better productivity and efficiency.
Okay, please go ahead.
Safety in operation comes only with adequate hands-on practice. Workers will have minimum chance of going wrong as practice makes him think and execute the task using both thinking hands and the brain. Just remember that as we work, at the end of each day, workers know that they have to return home safely to their loved ones.
Open fuel oil valve V1. Open atomizing steam valve V2.
A worker must know what kind of document is available when they need quick reference. This provides the worker with immediate knowledge of what documentation guide is available for maintenance, operation, as well as troubleshooting. In the past, only when trouble occurs, then the worker starts searching for the related document to perform the required maintenance or troubleshooting. This may directly extend the unplanned or planned shutdown maintenance time. Let's review the steps again in the pedagogical design of learning hands. The first step is the observation mode. In the observation mode, the avatar explains what is a task, how to execute the task, and why, the reason behind doing the task. This process develops a pair of smart learning hands as well as thinking hands. Unlike in the past, depending on the coach or supervisor, most of the time they explain what is the task, and how to execute it. They may sometimes skip the reason for doing that task. The past process focuses on getting the job done, and it has got the effect of mechanizing people. Next, the second step is the training mode. The workers get hands-on practice with voice and animation guidance. The training mode focuses on practice makes perfect and develop in-depth retention of the skills and knowledge. And if you are in a team, it's about collaboration to produce high-performing team. The third step is a testing mode. This is where the worker actually perform the actual step without any guidance. The instructor watch all the steps and add the final comments for the subsequent improvement of the learning journey. Now, in the testing mode, it is like the junior pilot taking his flight test, where the assessor sits next to him virtually and observe the entire sequence of tasks taken for a safe flight. You will see that he's left on his own to execute the entire task in proper sequence without any guidance. Proper technique in handling equipment is important, and this video actually illustrates a worker in a test using the wrong technique to turn off a valve. Competence, after this, it is about the entire test report result. The competency audit report is another important component. Yes, the supervisor can download a copy of the LMS report if it's outside the plant, or he can simultaneously monitor the test of a few candidates from his own computer and document items which he would want each of them to improve. And lastly, the most humanizing aspect of is the karaoke dashboard, which is just shown to you. You know, just like when I go to a karaoke with friends, I will continue to sing song after the song. This is to basically to achieve better score. For example, in earlier ones, maybe I get very poor score in pronunciation or poor score in synchronizing with the music or choice of song and all that. But then I will keep on doing it because there's a self-motivation to achieve a better score. This kind of dashboard clearly shows the incremental improvement, test after test, the results improvement. This is the underlying self-motivation in development of a pair of thinking hands. Therefore, to summarize, organizations are developing new skills so that they can become future-proof. Only with this, leaders have the opportunity to move their entire organization forward or to the next level. To achieve this, the first point is to clearly define the skill requirement by the people using the task GPS as well as the career map. Second point, digital transformation initiative becomes easier to achieve if there is a personal win from the ground up. This is the motivation for developing the thinking hands for the future of work. The thinking hands and personal win forms the process to achieve the ROI results. Without this robust process of defining ROI and KPI has got no meaning. The pedagogy in immersive learning design helps to achieve thinking hands. The change management facilitation to enable people to experience personal win is a much more difficult process in establishing ROI. This is the value of digital transformation services which many clients would like to have. To end this presentation, I quote from John C. Maxwell in his book of 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. He states, motivation gets you started. Habits of learning keeps you going. And another final quote from Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, Minister Mentor of Singapore, he says, the human being needs a challenge. And my advice to every person in Singapore or elsewhere, keep yourself interested and have a challenge. And with this, I end my presentation. And for those who like to connect with me, this is my LinkedIn account. And if you want to experience about thinking hands and humanizing technology, there is generic VR modules, which is customizable in furnace, air cooler, turbines, and compressor, focusing on step size, startup, shutdown, and lockout and takeout processes. With this, I thank you for your time. Thank you.